Why is it? Some women walk into a room and men can't stop thinking about them. Not just attracted, not just interested, but mentally hooked. And then other women, who are just as beautiful, just as kind, get ignored? This isn't random. This is psychology. And today, I'm going to break down exactly what triggers obsession in the male mind, without manipulation, without games, just truth. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the one trait that makes a man emotionally addicted, and most people get it completely wrong. Hello, beautiful thinkers. Welcome back to our Thinking Lab, where we're going to explore another intriguing episode filled with our signature principles: science, ancient wisdom, and biblical insights. Now let's dive in. Chapter 1, The Illusion Loop. Most people think men are driven purely by looks. That's surface level thinking. Attraction might start with the eyes, but obsession, that happens in the brain, because the male brain is wired for the following: challenge, reward, uncertainty, not comfort alone. If it were just beauty, every attractive woman would have the same effect. But they don't. Picture this. You reply instantly. You're always available, always kind, always understanding. You think you're building connection, but in their mind, you've become predictable, replaceable, easy. Now picture someone else. They're calm, busy, not always there. You don't know what they're thinking, and suddenly you can't stop thinking about them. That's the illusion. It's not about who gives more. It's about who makes you feel more. Chapter 2, The Dopamine Loop. Let's talk about dopamine, the chemical of desire. Dopamine doesn't spike when you have something. It spikes when you're anticipating something. That means predictable equals boring. Unpredictable equals addictive. The woman who is always available, always responding instantly, always giving energy. She feels good, but she doesn't stay in his mind. But the woman who creates emotional variation, she becomes a loop his brain keeps trying to solve. Picture this. You check your phone, nothing. 5 minutes later, still nothing. Now you're thinking about them. Then suddenly, a text. Your mood shifts instantly. Not because of the message, but because of the weight. That's the dopamine loop. It's not the attention that hooks you. It's the anticipation. Chapter 3. The 10 traits why men go wild and crazy for a woman. Let me show you what this actually looks like in real life. Not theory. Reality. Trait 1. She doesn't overreact. He tests her, says something slightly off. Most people react emotionally. She doesn't. She stays calm. Now he's thinking, wait, she's different. Trait 2. She's not easy to read. Not because she's fake, but because she doesn't reveal everything. Every interaction feels like there's more beneath the surface. And the brain? It hates unfinished puzzles. Trait 3. She has a life outside of him. She's busy, focused, driven, not pretending to be busy, actually living. Now he's not the center of her world, and ironically, that makes him want to be. Trait 4. She's warm, but not to everyone. When she smiles at him, it feels earned, not something she gives to every man in the room. That contrast, that's powerful. Trait 5. She challenges him without attacking him. She doesn't agree with everything. She teases, she pushes back, but never in a disrespectful way. Now he's engaged. Trait 6. She's emotionally stable. No chaos, no drama. In a world full of emotional noise, she feels like peace. And peace is addictive. Trait 7. She has standards, but doesn't announce them. She doesn't say, I don't tolerate this. She simply doesn't tolerate it. That quiet confidence hits harder than any words. Trait 8. She doesn't chase. She shows interest, but never desperation. And here's the truth. Men don't chase what's already chasing them. Trait 9, she takes care of herself. Not perfection, discipline, energy, health, presence. This signals long-term value subconsciously. Trait 10, she creates emotional contrast. Fun one moment, deep the next. Playful, then serious. Predictable patterns kill attraction. But contrast, that creates emotional spikes. Chapter 4. The core truth. Here's what no one tells you. Men don't become obsessed with perfection. They become obsessed with emotional experience. How you make someone feel is more powerful than how you look. If you're too easy, then no challenge. Too distant leads to no reward. The sweet spot? Intrigue plus warmth plus unpredictability. Chapter 5. Warning. Authenticity. Now listen carefully. If you try to fake this, it backfires. People can feel manipulation. This only works when it's real. When it comes from self-respect, a full life, emotional control, not strategy. If you master this, you don't just attract attention, you become unforgettable. And in a world full of noise, that's power. If you want to go deeper into the psychology of attraction, human behavior, and self-mastery, subscribe to Thinking Lab. Because the truth, most people don't think deeply enough to understand what actually drives human connection. Psychology-backed breakdown, simple, real, actionable. Now let's ground this in real science. No fluff. 1. Dopamine equals desire, not possession. Dopamine spikes during the following: anticipation, uncertainty, intermittent reward. Translation: always available leads to low dopamine. Sometimes available leads to high dopamine. This is why unpredictability creates attraction loops. Picture this. When you don't have them, you think about them non-stop. You crave the text, the attention, the moment. Then you finally get them. And suddenly, it's quiet. No rush, no obsession. That's the truth. You weren't addicted to having them. You were addicted to wanting them. 2. Intermittent reinforcement, most addictive pattern. This is the same principle used in casinos, social media, gambling. You don't reward every time. You reward randomly. The brain becomes obsessed trying to predict the next reward. In relationships, constant attention equals predictable. Mixed signals, natural, not toxic, equals engaging. Picture this. Sometimes they're all in, fast replies, energy, interest. Then, nothing. Now you're confused, thinking about them more than ever, trying to figure it out. That's intermittent reinforcement. Random rewards create obsession. 3. Attachment styles, core driver of behavior. Secure. Attracted to stability plus warmth. Values, emotional consistency. Anxious. Attracted to unpredictability. Gets hooked on emotional highs and lows. Avoidant. Attracted to independence. Pulls away from neediness. The traits I gave you tend to attract all three because they balance these: stability, secure; mystery, anxious; independence, avoidant. Picture this. They text less, you feel anxious. They text more, you feel overwhelmed. Now you're stuck in between, wanting closeness, but pushing it away. That's attachment. You don't respond to people. You respond to your past. 4. The challenge plus reward loop. Male attraction is heavily influenced by effort to reward, investment to return. If there's no effort required, the brain assigns low value. This is evolutionary. Humans value what they work for. Picture this. He's been coasting, giving you half-effort replies, acting like your presence is guaranteed, moving through the day like your background music. So you stop filling the silence. You match his energy with calm distance. And suddenly, he's double texting, hovering, and remembering you're not a subscription. He forgot to cancel. Then, when he actually shows up with real effort, real attention, real presence, you soften, you smile, you let him feel the warmth he earned, not as a game, but as a natural consequence of alignment. He learns fast. Consistency gets closeness. Complacency gets space. That's the loop. Feral, feminine, and effective without saying a word. 5. Emotional contrast equals memory encoding. The brain remembers peaks, high emotion, changes, contrast, not flat experiences. That's why same energy all the time equals forgettable. Varied emotional experience equals memorable. Picture this. He's used to you being steady, warm, predictable, the emotional Wi-Fi he never has to log into. Then one day you shift your tone, your pace, your presence, not in anger, just indifference, and suddenly he's paying attention, like his brain rebooted. You go from soft to focused, playful to calm, warm to mysterious. Tiny shifts that make his mind go, wait, what's happening? And because the moment feels different, his brain stamps it as important. That's emotional contrast, not drama, memorability. It's why he remembers the moments you changed the energy more than the ones where you stayed the same. 6. Perceived scarcity equals higher value. If something feels rare, it becomes valuable. Not fake scarcity, real scarcity, limited time, selective attention, high standards. The brain equates scarcity with importance. Picture this. He treated your presence like a default setting, always on, always warm, always available. So you stop overgiving, start living, and suddenly he's watching your stories like they're stock prices and replying like he just remembered. You're not a lifetime warranty. You didn't punish him. You didn't chase. You simply became a woman with a life, and the moment he realized access wasn't guaranteed, his effort magically resurrected. That's scarcity, not games, gravity. People value what they can't take for granted. 7. Non-neediness equals power signal. Neediness signals low self-worth, dependency. Non-neediness signals and abundance, confidence. Humans are wired to move towards strength and stability. Picture this. He sends a dry reply, takes hours to respond, or gives you that lazy half energy like he's doing you a favor by existing. Old you would have over-explained, over-texted, or tried to fix the vibe. But the woman you are now, you simply carry on with your day, glowing, booked, unbothered, and suddenly he's typing paragraphs, calling more and acting like he just remembered you're not emotionally dependent on him. You didn't pull away, you didn't chase, you just stopped needing anything from him, and that shift alone flipped the power dynamic. That's non-neediness, not coldness, self-possession. Nothing is louder than a woman who wants you, but doesn't need you. Be honest. Which one exposed you today? The I stopped overgiving and he suddenly woke up moment. The my energy shift made him pay attention moment. The non-neediness changed the whole dynamic moment. Drop yours below. The comments are about to be very real. Why men magnetize to these 10 traits? Men aren't drawn to these traits because they're cute or nice. They're drawn because these traits regulate his nervous system, signal emotional safety, and activate his biological drive to protect, pursue, and commit. These traits hit 3 primal switches in a man. 1. They calm his system. Men are wired to seek women who lower stress, not raise it. 2. They signal high self-worth, which tells his brain, she's rare, don't lose her. 3. They create polarity. Your grounded feminine energy activates his masculine instinct to show up, lead, and invest. In short, these traits don't manipulate men. They stabilize them. They don't chase validation. They command respect. They don't perform. They magnetize. Men don't fall for these traits by accident. Their biology, psychology, and instincts are literally built to respond to a woman who is regulated, self-possessed, and emotionally intelligent. These traits don't attract men. They activate them. We reached our closing. If this episode enlightened you, hit the subscribe button, like and share this to a friend or a family that needs polishing their traits. Most people will watch this, understand it, and still not apply it, because this isn't about tricks. It's about discipline, self-respect, and emotional control. And if you master that, you don't just attract people, you influence how they think, how they feel, and whether they ever move on from you. That's the difference. Thank you for stopping by at our Thinking Lab, where we just don't glow from the inside and out, but we grow beautifully. Until next time, stay grounded, stay healthy, stay powerful, stay beautiful.